Yay. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Kim Million and I am a senior gold ambassador with Plexus. I have been on the products and doing the business for almost 2.5 years. So tonight I am very excited because I've never seen a call like this before. I'm sure there has been one, but I've been wanting to do one for a long time. And tonight we're talking about the connection between gut health and mental health or mood. All right. So it's a scientifically proven fact that over 90% of our serotonin, and if you don't know what that is, that's the hormone that keeps you happy. 90% of it is produced and it happens in the gut. So if our guts are imbalanced with an overgrowth of harmful bacteria, it can have an effect on the production of that serotonin. And so you can imagine that it's probable, a probable cause that's been linked to depression and anxiety and high stress because it's an extremely important neurotransmitter. So my story very quickly, and then we'll move on to other people who have agreed to share that I'm so excited to hear their stories. I suffered with debilitating anxiety for over 14 years after I had all of my kiddos. I had taken meds, which none of which I felt worked really well for me for a long-term basis. And so I had stopped all meds. So when I was introduced to Plexus, I was at that point where I just had accepted the fact that this was my life. This was going to be my life. I was used to saying no to things that I enjoyed doing with my family and friends. And I just had resolved, well, I guess this is my life. There are things I'm going to miss out on. So I did not expect a probiotic, just a little pill that I take every night, to make even a noticeable difference. I was wrong. I was wrong. Within 2 months of starting the products, I noticed that my normal anxiety triggers were no longer causing anxiety or physical symptoms, okay? They weren't just dialed down, they were gone. No more anxiety symptoms at all. They were non-existent. So to say I was surprised would be an understatement. I was ecstatic. I felt like, oh my goodness, I can engage in certain activities with my family again. And I was overjoyed, okay? So Plexus specifically formulates their gut health products to do what others cannot. And you're going to be hearing about that tonight. So without further delay, I'm going to introduce my wonderful friend, Kanya, and she's going to share her story with you. So Kanya, let's take it away.
Hey, everyone. Okay. I can chase a rabbit trail like no other, so I'm going to try to stay on topic. But if you hear nothing else from me, hear me say that if you struggle with anxiety or any mental health struggles, please know that meds are wonderful, but there are other options. And this is that other option. I started meds because after my second child, I have 5 children. I struggled with postpartum depression and anxiety, but I had no idea what that was. And he was several months older. And so I thought this couldn't be it because he's like 6 to 8 months old at that time. This isn't postpartum. He's like almost a toddler, right? But then I started talking to people and they're like, well, why don't you at least talk to a doctor? Why don't you at least talk to a doctor? So then I felt broken. And what if meds don't work? Then I'm really broken. And this is just my life of bailing on friends, not wanting to do social things, having meltdowns before major social things because it caused me so much stress and anxiety. And so that was so defeating for me because I love, love, love people and I love social events. And so the fact that that was keeping me from doing those things was heartbreaking.
Are you frozen?
Oh, I'm
No.
so sorry.
Oh,
Am
no,
I
you're
back?
good.
Let me make sure one thing. Okay. If it freezes again, let me know and I will move to being last and I'll
Will do.
move locations.
You're good now.
Okay, perfect. Um, I remember melting down in my kitchen because friends were coming over, dinner wasn't ready, and I thought everything had to be perfect. They were friends we had had over before. I should not be feeling this way. So, with that, I thought this isn't it. This isn't life for me. This isn't living. This is not what I wanted for my life. So I got on meds. I knew I wanted to only be on them for a short amount of time. So my doctor said, let's try it for 6 months. I did it for 6 months and it was game changing for me. I knew what it felt like to be under control of my anxiety. I liked it, but I did not want to have the side effects of meds, having to up it and up it and up it and change it and go with the flow and doing something bad. And so I always knew I only want to do 6 months and then I needed to figure it out. So then came my third child, and I knew I didn't want to go back on meds. So I sought natural remedies because I was not introduced to Plexus at the time. And about a year after my third child, I got introduced to Plexus because I wanted to lose some extra fluff. So I thought I'm going to use a money back guarantee because nothing else has worked. I did lose some 10 pounds, quit the products, and my husband was like, we might need to figure out budget wise how to keep those products because you're much nicer and you haven't had a meltdown the past like
No, I
3.
emailed them because they had emailed me
Kaylee,
about.
Kayla, you're not muted. It's totally fine. And so I knew, hold on. Oh yeah. So he was telling me that they worked and I was like, oh, I haven't had a meltdown in 3 months. I am not also medicated, so they must be doing something. So the more I dug, I realized that the connection between the gut and the mental health and your brain are all connected. I have been med free ever since, and it's been like 6 or 7 years. And I will tell you, it feels very similar to medication. I'm able to control it. I know what the triggers feel like. I know how to cope. I'm not just like digging deep in my soul of like, okay, I just have to grin and bear it to be able to do these social events. And there are still triggers. There is still anxiety. I have 5 kids. Things are stressful. Going to the store is stressful. Going to social events, taking them places. So there are other options. There are other options outside of mental health too. There are people struggling. So that's why I share. I will tell you, my sister has been so sick, and I myself did not know how sick she was until she told me she had been on huge big pharma drugs and recently has been on the products for a year, and now she's off all of those meds. And I didn't even know, my own sister, how sick she was. We just never know how much people are struggling.
Okay, she's frozen again. So should we just? Oh,
Again, in my back.
yep, there you go. You're back.
So sorry.
Just
don't know
waiting
why
for you to
I'm-
spool. It's okay, no biggie.
I watch Lauren because she moves a lot. I'm like, okay, she's still moving. So anyway, people don't know that there's hope until we share that these medications, that these products are options. They have to have options and know that they're out there. It provides hope. It provides, like, I was young. I was
Okay, she keeps coming back, so I'm just gonna let her go because she's probably almost done. Maybe. Move it 709.
back.
Yep,
Bueller,
there you go.
Bueller.
Okay.
Oh, so sorry, y'all. Okay, I'll wrap it up to say that if you need other options, this is your other option. They do work. Every body is different. So some products that I took were the Triplex. I love Edge for ADHD and for my mental health because mental clarity and focus, and it gives me that extra energy. And then
Hey, Kanya, go ahead and put what you're taking in the chat. Okay. And let's go ahead and move. Is that
all right, I'm
okay?
gonna pass it to Hannah.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. And Hannah, take it away.
Okay. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. Okay. So I've never done this before. So I'm a little nervous, so just bear with me. Okay, so I've never spoke through a Zoom meeting before, so I guess I'll just say a couple of small things about myself. I live in Tennessee. I've been married for 3 years, and I have a set of twin boys that are 19 months old, Jameson and Jensen, and I love them to death. I have only been doing Plexus for, I want to say, it's been since March, I would say. And even in such a short time, I feel like I can definitely tell a huge difference in my body as
I have
far
my
as
volume turned off because I never interrupt.
my, oh, as far as like my gut health and my mental health and all of that. When I got pregnant, it was wonderful, but then after I started I struggle with postpartum. It wasn't necessarily postpartum depression. It was more of like the baby blues. And so that was really hard for me, and kind of weaning off of that and just getting over that was really hard. And then I started noticing that there was a lot of difference going on with my diet, and I just didn't know what I was supposed to do to change it. And I was just trying all these other things that were not working, all kinds of diets, and everything just made me feel awful. And I felt horrible about my body, about myself, about my mental clarity. And I've struggled with anxiety probably for about, I'd say about more than 10 years of my life. And I had been taking prescribed medication since I was 12. I got diagnosed when I was 10. I've been taking medication since I was 12. And I recently was able to finally stop. And I actually started taking Metaburn, which has been wonderful for me for that. And I've not even been taking it, but maybe a little over a month. As far as I would say the why I started Plexus, well, one main reason, my friend Lauren Farmer has decided to get me hooked on it. Thank you. I did say no for a good while. And then, she wasn't pushing me, just kind of told me, just think about it. Just think about it. I see her at church every Sunday, just think about it. It's no big deal. So I'm like, okay. And I started thinking about it. And then I would talk to my husband. I'd get home like, there is this pull. Something is pulling me towards wanting to try it. And so anyway, I'm jabbering a little, sorry. So I ended up starting this past March, and I got onto the triplex. And so I started taking the BioCleanse, the Slim drinks, and the probiotic medication. And so when I was taking all those capsules and drinking those drinks, I could definitely tell a difference, and my husband included. And as far as the specific yes that I gave Lauren, like why I started, I really felt like we just needed something different. I felt like I needed something to push me to better myself, because I knew that if I wasn't going to be happy and want to take care of other people, then if I'm not going to take care of myself, then I'm not going to want to help take care of other people. And that's really a big thing that I struggled with. I struggled with sleep, eating healthier, anxiety, all of the things. And I just knew that I needed to do something. And this was one big thing that I felt like I physically got down on my knees and prayed about so many times, that just like, God, give me a sign, help me figure out what I need to do for myself. And then it opened up so much more to, this is a huge community. This isn't just selling products. This is about getting others together to feel better and to want to do so much better for other people. And I love people. I work in the hair industry, and I've been doing hair for almost about 6 to 7 years now. And so I love making people feel beautiful. And I want to be able to make people feel so much better about themselves. And I just feel like it's so much better to be able to spread how good you feel to others about how good they can feel, if that makes sense. And so I just feel like that's really good. A really good thing to have. And I really feel like just trying all of these different products, as far as the triplex, I feel like that was a really good start to helping me. And I got locked out of my house, so I don't have my notes. So I'm just kind of going. I'm just kind of going with what I got in my brain. So I'm just gonna tell you, I kind of forgot.
You're
But yeah,
doing great. You're doing great.
But that's about all I have from memory. I'm sorry. I did have a whole lot more.
You did great, Hannah. Good job. That was your first time. Everybody give her a round of applause, because that's great. Good job. Okay, Carly,
Thank
you are up.
Great job, Hannah. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. Okay. My name is Carly Owens. I have been on the product since May of 2021. Gosh, you'd think I would remember. So I hit my my rock bottom that Mother's Day of May of 2020. Yes, May of 2021. That's correct. I, like others have spoken, I terrible sleep. I have sleep anxiety. I've been diagnosed by sleep doctors and normal doctors, like, okay, yeah, you have sleep anxiety. And just to like a little bit about my story, like the reason why I started was for sleep. I'd watched my friend Kara for years. For 2 years, she reached out to me, and she's the same thing as like Hannah and Lauren. Lauren was like, okay, well, why don't you just like think about it? Like Kara was like, just think about it. And I just kept thinking about it and like, okay, no. 2 years. 2 years it took me to commit. And yeah, I sleep better. Not saying the anxiety for sleep has gone away completely, but anyway, that was the main reason why I started. I had no idea that there is a thing called the gut brain axis, and it connects. And so when you heal your gut, it helps your brain. It helps. And so at that time, I had 2 biological kids, and I'm going to get into my story just a little bit, but 2 kids, 3 and was it 9 months? Was Hollis 9 months? Which is nuts to think about because he's about to be 4 years old. I recognized I had postpartum depression with my first, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know the signs. So I did not get on any medication. And then I recognized I was like, before my second was born, I read up on it and got more information. And so I was able to recognize my sleep was the main thing to go when my anxiety was through the roof. And so I ended up getting on medication. And between starting Plexus in May, I was able to wean off of that medication in December. So 6 months after starting Triplex, I was able to wean off of that. Now there's a caveat with my story. So, and I love that we live in a day and age where there are options. There are options for root gut healing, but then there's also options when you're in a really hard season, you might need something extra, and that is okay. So let me just like tell you right now, if you are in a season, or if you start the products and you become in a season where it's just like, I need a little extra help, don't not go to your doctor because you are on these amazing products that help. Sometimes you just need a little extra. And I think every single person like was nodding their head in agreement that sometimes you're in seasons where you just need a little extra help. And I am currently in one of those seasons. So although I was able to wean myself off of my medication, that very next month, LOL, we got like dropped biggest news for our family. We took in our, at the time, 3 nephews very unexpectedly. And so our life went from having 2, like 9 months and 3 years old, to having 5. And then they're all, I can tell you the ages now. It's too much to try to do math in my head. Right now, they're 10, 12, and 15. So you can imagine just the life and the drowning. For months and months, I felt like only this was above water. I am an open book about this. If I don't know you and you're like, please tell me more of your story, contact who you know on this call, and they will connect you with me. And so I remember going to my doctor. I'm going to be a little bit longer than 3 or 5 minutes. Sorry, guys. But I remember going to my doctor and I was like, listen, I am on these products. I'm feeling fine, but this is my plan for my anxiety. And like, I remember like, I want to try this. Then I want to try VitaBiome. And then I want to, which Kanya has mentioned in the chat. And then for like 3 to 6 months. And then I want to try this like liver support supplement through Young Living. that for like a couple of months. And I like had this like check-in with my counselor, with my doctor, and like every 3 months, I'm like, okay, I'm doing this and I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling okay. And then at just one point then I got to the point where I just wasn't okay. I was not okay. And I needed some help from my doctor. And it was over a year and a half that I was doing okay. And then I was like, I'm not doing okay. And so that was in September of this past year. So, I know that was a lot of information thrown at you, but what I will say is that if I wasn't targeting my gut, if I wasn't weeding, feeding, and replenishing my gut, I don't even want to know how I would be right now in this season of life. And so I am grateful for these products because they have truly helped me. No, like I'm on edge, but I'm like, if I didn't have these like root healing products, like how much more on edge would I be? How much more would I still be sleeping terrible? Because even when I was on prescription medication, I was sleeping terrible, like sleep and anxiety medication. Like I was sleeping terrible. And so balancing your blood sugars, getting a quality probiotic that's going to patch up those gut tears. And if you're like, what the heck is she talking about? Connect with the person who invited you. Like, it's like, it is the real deal. And so, this season, I mean, yeah, and be patient. Yeah, because everybody is different. And I had so much, I'm going to be transparent. I really am transparent if you haven't like noticed that already. It was really hard for me to like accept the fact that like I needed extra help from my doctor. It was hard because I'm like, I have these products and I have all these success stories of people being able to wean off medication. And then, but I had to like really put my pride aside and say, in this season, I need help. This is not a forever season. This isn't a forever season. And so that is okay. But I will say, worth it. It is worth. I mean, if you're on your last leg, one, I'm really sorry. If you're at the end of your rope, I'm really sorry. If you're at rock bottom, I'm really sorry. I've been there. I think we all have been there. And we love you and we share because this is what's helped us. And so I understand the debilitating anxiety. It's no joke. But I will say targeting my gut has helped tremendously with that. And so I think that's about it. Did I share all that we have in mind? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh
Okay.
my goodness, you guys, like so good. So good. And I'm gonna do this because I'm gonna put this on YouTube. I'm just gonna say that none of these statements have been approved by the FDA. Okay. And Plexus does not diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Okay. So just know that. But so now I'm gonna stop the recording